Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here, and in this video today, we need to talk about Team Liquid. Team Liquid is a team that I was very high on coming into the year. They were doing pretty good in spring. I was saying that this is perhaps the best, probably on paper, the best North American team of all time, but obviously the game is not played on paper. Team Liquid was going to have to figure some things out, and they had a lot of weirdness going on. Obviously, Hansama and Bwipo coming over to NA, Bwipo role swapping back to top lane, Bjergsen coming out of retirement, Jensen not being with the team anymore. There was definitely a lot of moving parts, a lot that could go wrong, but this team, as a lot of people thought, with time would eventually figure it out, would eventually achieve some kind of greatness. What exactly does that mean? I don't know. Is that an LCS title? Is that making out of groups at Worlds? Is that semifinals at Worlds? Who knows? But obviously, largely, this season has been a disappointment for Team Liquid after finishing third in the spring playoffs and then kind of having a shaky start so far in summer. They started out 3-0, and then they went 1-1 5 weeks in a row. No 2-0 weeks in the LCS summer split regular season where most of the teams aren't even taking it very seriously. You know, that is not super confidence inducing or anything like that. So coming into this week, it was going to be a spicy one. It was going to be a big one. They were taking on FlyQuest and EG. This is a really big week. FlyQuest has been a team better than a lot of people expected. They're a team that's fighting for, like approval and wanting to prove how good they are. So this is a team that actually cares probably more about the summer split regular season than most teams. And then obviously EG has been the top dogs all year. This is a team that 3-0'd Team Liquid in the playoffs. So they would definitely have a lot to prove. But coming into the week, we had this from Bjergsen, which started things off on a spicy note. You know, he said, "Got a little surprise for you guys on stage for our match today. Tune in," which is funny. No one really knows what that meant, but I like that it's adding the hype, adding the excitement. He's getting some engagement. He hopefully got some extra people to tune into this game to see what the heck was going on. But I didn't necessarily know what this meant. I know I think I quoted it or retweeted it or something. It was like, I'm not sure what this means. My first thought was like, oh, is Bjergsen coming back? Because so many people were like, Bjergsen was better when he had the huge beard, and now, short beard or no beard Bjergsen, he sucks recently, which I really don't think. I still think Bjergsen, if you look at the stats and look at his play, people have been criticizing him for being like too passive and not doing enough. It's like, he's actually doing a lot. Team Liquid has the best early game in the LCS. Bjergsen is getting stuff done in the early game, and then he's actually scaling up into like some of the highest DPS in all of the LCS, especially like outside of AD carry. So I really think a lot of the Bjergsen slander and criticism has been overblown. I think he has been good this year, especially considering that he was retired last season. But so I don't know. I was like, okay, is the beard coming back? Some people were like, oh, is he gonna shave his head or something crazy? A lot of people were like, oh, is it gonna be some spicy pick? Some people wanted Zed, Treat says Zillion, Heimerdinger, Katarina, and everyone was like, oh, is it gonna be some kind of pick or something? Yeah, is he gonna dress up in Star Guardian cosplay? No one really knew what was going on, and I didn't think it was some kind of pick. Some people were like, oh, let me guess, you're gonna pick Corki, and it's like, okay, he's obviously not tweeting about one of their picks or one of their drafts before the game even happens. Like, that wouldn't really make much sense. There's no way, their drafts are like predetermined or something like that. It doesn't even make sense. So I didn't know what exactly it was going to be, but what we actually got was this. We got the mustache. We got Mustache-Sin. Him and Bwipo came out in the mustaches. CoreJJ and Hansama had the fake mustaches. I don't know if Santorin was wearing a fake mustache or not. I know he has like the full beard or like, short full beard going on. But I don't think Santorin was a part of the mustache gang. But I know that Bjergsen and Bwipo both were. And they were kind of talking about it a little bit. Bwipo, apparently every week that the team has gone 1-1, Bwipo has like tried something new, something different to try and break this 1-1 curse that they have been on. And of course, this week in the LCS, Team Liquid absolutely got it done. They beat FlyQuest and they actually beat Evil Geniuses, which was very good to see. And in these games, they were pretty dominant. This game, you can see they had like a 13,000 gold lead. You have Hansama 216, CoreJJ 2010, Bjergsen 306, Bwipo 8-1-2 on the Olaf top, which is just absolutely a Bwipo champion. And then this Evil Geniuses game, they smashed them even harder. You can see here, Santorin 7-1-11 on the Trundle, Bwipo 6-2-10 on the set, Bjergsen 5-1 on the Azir, Hansama 2-1-8, CoreJJ 0-1-13. This is what Team Liquid was supposed to be the whole year. This is what this team on paper was supposed to be able to do. And really, this is I don't want to say the only time this year we've seen them be this dominant, because they were pretty good in spring and they've won some games very convincingly in summer. And like I said, they are the best early game team in the LCS, which is a great thing because so much of the LCS is boring, scaling for late, trying to team fight, all this stuff that is just not going to work internationally. The only chance a Western team has internationally is if they try and show up in the early game, try and, punch somebody in the mouth and try and get some kind of lead and then play good League of Legends from there. Just because you play early game doesn't mean you can't still be good at team fighting or at mid to late game or whatever. But if you don't even try to get stuff done in the early game, or if you can't get stuff done in the early game against some of these disgustingly bad LCS teams, then you're just going to be too one-dimensional, or you're just going to be too bad at international competition. So I do like that Team Liquid at least has that going for them, but the story of the year has been Team Liquid is good in the early game, but even from a deficit, they lose team fights to 100 Thieves. They lose these skirmishes and these team fights to Evil Geniuses. But in these games, they smash so hard and then, won the mid-game fights, won the late-game fights, controlled objectives. They did everything. They dotted their I's, they crossed their T's, and this was so good to see. Obviously, Bjergsen and the Mustache went undefeated, and I tweeted that out, Mustache Bjergsen is undefeated in his career. I don't know if he's ever gone to the Mustache before, but so far so good. And to me, this was just so good to see because I still believe, hey, EG, they've been good. They made it to the semifinals at MSI. Yes, they went 0-6 or whatever against G2, but people forget they actually finished with the same record in the Rumble stage as G2. G2 dropped a ton of games to lower tier teams. EG did not. EG beat everyone they were supposed to beat. They never beat G2, but they beat T1, and they didn't lose to any of these minor region teams like G2 did. That doesn't make G2 better just because they beat EG a bunch, but then lost to these worse teams too. It is just best of ones at the end of the day. So EG's been good. They've had a good year. They're young. They have a bright future ahead of them. 100 Thieves is, I still think, looking like a pretty strong team too. Obviously, they won 3 games at Worlds last year. If they're better this year, then hopefully they'll be going into Worlds strong. But I still think this TL team is our best chance. If they can click on all cylinders, if they can figure it out. And I think this is a great week for Bwipo. I'm watching the TSM Dignitas game right now, so the LCS week isn't over, so I don't know who player of the week is yet, but I'll be pretty surprised if Bwipo doesn't get it. I know some people are talking about FBI, but I really think Bwipo does deserve it. And either way, I was ready to write off Team Liquid last week because they've been looking not so great. They've been looking so inconsistent, and 5 1-1 weeks in a row was just not good for me. It was really getting gross. C9 was kind of surging, but now all of a sudden C9 doesn't look very good. FlyQuest doesn't look very good. TL's main competition for the 3 seed or for top 3 at this point seems like CLG, and of course I'm taking Team Liquid over CLG in a best of 5 in the playoffs. So yeah, I don't know. All of a sudden, in just 1 week, things have kind of totally turned around. Team Liquid seems to have flipped a switch. They've seemed to have figured some things out, which I think is amazing. And obviously, peaking at the right time with just 1 week to go in the LCS season. We have the Super Week next week. We'll have to see how things go. But yeah, I don't know, just watching the team this week, it just looked super good. It looked super confidence-inducing. I love that Bwipo's popping off. I love that they were playing around him. Santorin giving him those early ganks, early tower dives, all that stuff. This Bwipo snagged the highest gold differential at 14 of the entire split. He was up almost 2,800 gold over Impact, and obviously Impact's no slouch, at 14 minutes, which is just insane. I think he finishes Gore Drinker at like 9 minutes. Obviously, Set's a champion we're not really seeing a ton of right now, so the fact that he pulled it out and smashed the game as it and smashed Impact and smashed EG with it, I think is super cool. And then obviously the LCS standings. Yes, Team Liquid's only 10-5. They wouldn't love to be tied with CLG at this point in the season. They wouldn't love to be 2 games behind EG and 100 Thieves. But yeah, next week TL has games with Dignitas, should be an easy win. Hopefully, Golden Guardian should be another easy win. And then they round out the season against 100 Thieves. So Team Liquid, if they go 3-0, they could very easily end up as the 2 seed or maybe even the 1 seed, depending on how EG does or whatever. I think it's more likely that if TL goes 3-0, they end up as a 2 seed. But that finishing the season with a match against 100 Thieves is going to be super fun to watch. It's going to be super spicy, and that's going to set the mood going into the playoffs super well, because all of a sudden we have these top 5 teams, Cloud9, TL, CLG, 100 Thieves, EG, all neck and neck. FlyQuest is kind of a dark horse team there too. Playoffs going to be super fun. A ton of teams tight. EG looking maybe a little bit shaky all of a sudden. 100 Thieves, they're always inconsistent. CLG, are they legit? Are they not? TL kind of spiking late in the season. Cloud9 still not really where they need to be. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but it's going to be super fun to watch. And hey, we're all fighting for 3 world spots. But so far, I think this was an amazing week for Team Liquid. Some great news for them, and having a good week at a really good time. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about anything we talked about in this video today. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.